how is it going everybody? Mr. Android here. Welcome back to a brand new video on this channel. Today I've got a bunch of beautiful looking smartphones right in front of me. Here I have the Vivo T4 Ultra that is currently running the Funtouch OS 15. Then there is another phone from Vivo, but it's got the different UI altogether, which is the OriginOS 5. Next, the gorgeous looking Xiaomi 15, which has the HyperOS 2 based on Android 15. And finally, the recently launched OnePlus Nord 5 with the OxygenOS 15. So one thing you might have noticed is that these are all smartphones from Chinese manufacturer that also come with some of the popular Chinese Android skins. And in this video, what we're gonna do is, we'll compare the animations and smoothness on these Android UIs and let's find out which offers the smoothest Android experience. With that said, stay tuned and watch this video until the very end. Also, let's aim for at least 1000 likes on this one. So drop a like, leave a comment and let's get started. Alright guys, before I start with the animations, let me clear a couple of things. The refresh rate on these devices is set to 120Hz and the animation speed is set to default. We haven't changed anything specifically on these phones. I'll also recommend you to watch this video at 60 frames for a better viewing experience. With that said, let's start off with the animations. Nowadays all the Chinese smartphones have improved a lot in terms of animations and smoothness. I mean, you won't notice any drastic change unless or until you start comparing them side by side with other Android skins. Now coming back to this specific comparison, I have to tell you one thing here. Whenever I switch to the Vivo phone that is running Funtouch OS 15, I can clearly feel that the animations are not as fluid as other Chinese phones that I'm currently using. Now don't get me wrong, Funtouch OS has definitely improved at least in terms of animations, but still they are not as good as other phones running different Android skins. Now coming to OriginOS 5, which is only available for the Vivo phones that are exclusively launching in China, not only does it have a lot of amazing features and that modern touch compared to Funtouch OS 15, but even in terms of animations and smoothness, I can clearly see the difference, and it definitely feels a tad bit smoother compared to Vivo phones that have the infamous Funtouch OS. But there is one major drawback that is present on both the Funtouch and OriginOS 5, and that is related to the 120Hz refresh rate. Guys, when I use certain apps on these Vivo phones, for example, if I open YouTube, the refresh rate automatically goes down to 90 or 60 Hz and it feels laggy and jittery when you scroll. The worst part is you don't have the option like the HyperOS or the OnePlus OxygenOS where you can force the refresh rate to 120 Hz on every single app you have installed on your phone. So this is something that I hate about the Funtouch and the OriginOS 5, because if your phone has a 120Hz refresh rate, then it should feel smooth all the time, especially when you are scrolling. Now coming to Xiaomi HyperOS 2, guys, we are not talking about the overall aesthetics and design, but in terms of smoothness and fluidity, I think they have done a great job. It definitely has much better animations, and maybe it is very close to Oxygen or the ColorOS, at least in the higher range or premium Xiaomi devices. The only thing is that rarely I have experienced some frame drops, but most of the time it runs really smooth, just like the OnePlus or Oppo devices. Now finally, let's talk about the OxygenOS 15. It is the most stable Android UI that I've recently came across. Not only does it have the smooth animations like HyperOS, but it also feels extremely fluid and polished without any lag or stutter. And you know what the best part is? Even if you get any mid-range phone from OnePlus or Oppo, you still have that really smooth and fluid experience thanks to the ColorOS and the OxygenOS optimization. OnePlus and Oppo provides the most stable experience among all these different Chinese skins. So that's pretty much it for this video. Do let me know in the comment section which UI do you prefer in terms of animations and smoothness. And if you guys like this video, then be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I am Mr. Android, and I'll see you guys in the next one.